You guys might be wondering why we have this little boy on a lunch tray, and that's because a death row inmate actually requested this as his last meal. Doug Steffner was a cannibal who ate his victims. He was sentenced to death for and eating over 20 children in his neighborhood. And like all inmates on death row, he was given one last meal request. This last meal was denied, so he was given the traditional last meal, which is medium rare steak, over easy eggs, hash browns with toast, milk, and orange juice. Haven't had breakfast yet. We're gonna be eating death row inmates' last meals today, and these last meal requests get stranger and stranger, so stay tuned. Now, how's the steak, Tanner?
Tastes like a baby.
Let's move on to the next one. Our next death row inmate was one of the most famous and sickest serial killers of all time. Jeffrey Dahmer kidnapped 17 victims. What did he eat for his last meal? Nothing. He denied his last meal, and right before he was executed, he was actually stabbed by an inmate 20 times in the stomach and one final time in the back. The next inmate was actually the youngest person to ever be put on death row. At age 14, George Stinney was convicted of murdering 2 little girls aged 7 and 11. He was sentenced to death by the electric chair. Now, what was his last meal?
Just a glass of milk.
And what's crazy is later in 2014, he was declared innocent, so he was wrongfully put to death. What would your last meal be?
Honestly, I don't think I would have the stomach to eat if I knew I was gonna die. Wait, how did he die again?
From the electric chair.
Well, I guess you could say his ending was shocking.
The next meal is one of the weirdest last meal requests. James Edward Smith was a former voodoo priest who participated in 6 ritualistic killings, including the beheading of a 1-year-old as a sacrifice to a voodoo god. For his last meal, he requested dirt. More specifically, Wakanda dirt. This request was denied and they gave him yogurt to eat instead.
Why'd you take the dirt away?
I'm not gonna let them put dirt in their mouth.
Well, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Wait, ref?
No! It's still ref!
Let's get out of here! Our next last meal request comes from the real-life Pennywise. John Wayne Gacy, also known as the Killer Clown, would perform at children's hospitals and birthday parties dressed as a clown. There, he would pick his victims and later go on to kill them. For his last meal, he requested 12 deep-fried shrimp with french fries, a bucket of KFC chicken, and a pound of strawberries. All right, let's dig in.
Wait! I want some food!
What the? Oh my god!
Bro, he eats more aggressive than me eating.
You know, this is so good, but honestly, I don't think he deserved the last meal because he did kill 33 boys. Right before he was executed by lethal injection, his last words were, "Kiss my ass." What was that?
Oh, Sean, you could be back there.
Hi, sisters! Our next inmate was actually the first woman serial killer to be put on death row. Eileen Wuornos was a street prostitute who shot and killed 7 of her male clients. For her last meal, what did she request?
Just a cup of coffee. I would rather be put down than to drink this.
Oh my god. Speaking of being put down, what do you think you would go on death row for?
I would go on death row for spending fake money.
You spent fake money?
Well, I didn't know fake money years and Joe doing it.
This next death row inmate had the smallest last meal request. Victor Harry Feiger killed a doctor and stole his car. And for his last meal, he requested a single olive. He actually hid the olive in his pocket, which was later found in his grave. He was hoping the olive would sprout out from his grave into an olive tree, symbolizing peace. In case you're wondering who this is, we actually have a subscriber who's gonna help us eat the olive.
I have to eat that.
You don't want to eat it? Doesn't look good?
Yeah, that doesn't look that appetizing. What do you mean?
If you don't want that, then you're probably gonna want this. $10,000. And we're also gonna be giving away $10,000 to someone random who subscribes within the next 7 days, so subscribe.
Subscribe.
Our next death row inmate wasn't too happy about what happened to his last meal. Thomas J. Grosso strangled an 87-year-old woman with her own Christmas tree lights on Christmas Eve just to steal $12 in cash. For his last meal, he ate 2 dozen clams, 2 double cheeseburgers from Burger King, a half rack of barbecue spare ribs, 2 strawberry milkshakes, a pumpkin pie with whipped cream, strawberries, and most importantly, a can of SpaghettiOs. Wow.
It's dry as fuck.
Now, the reason why he wasn't too happy about his last meal is because instead of giving him SpaghettiOs, they gave him spaghetti instead. His last words were, "I did not get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this." Who's gonna eat the clams?
I'm not eating that. Man, look at the way it busts open like.
Well, Sean, if you don't eat the clams, then you're gonna have to go through punishment instead.
What punishment?
Well, you guys are gonna have to stay tuned for that at the end because it's gonna be an extreme punishment. And Sean, we're not going easy on you.
I like it hard.
Our next death row inmate is probably the scariest one on the list. I mean, look at him. But what he ate for his last meal was even scarier. Jeremy Morris murdered 2 nuns, and for his last meal, he requested the Holy Bible. His request was accepted because they thought he was trying to repent. However, he just started tearing pages out of the Bible and eating them like potato chips. Obviously, we're not gonna eat the Bible, but he was executed by the electric chair. Not a lot of people know this, but before you're put on the electric chair, they actually shave your head and then the rest of the hair on your body.
You mean even this? If they ain't touching the chest hair, that would be my last request.
The next death row inmate is actually someone you guys know very well. Bubba was convicted of kidnapping Sean 3 times. For his last meal, he actually escaped to look for it.
Escape? Huh?
Yeah. Bubba was you, Sean. Yeah.
The next inmate's last meal request was so bizarre that the state of Texas no longer serves last meal requests. What did Lawrence Russell Brewer do? He was a sheriff who was also part of the KKK. What was his last meal? 2 chicken fried steaks, cheese omelet with ground beef, a big bowl of fried okra with ketchup, triple meat bacon cheeseburger, 3 fajitas, 1 pound of barbecue and a half loaf of white bread, a pizza meat lover special, 1 pint of homemade vanilla ice cream, 1 slab of peanut butter fudge with crushed peanuts, and 3 root beers. And what he actually did with that food was not eat it because he claimed he wasn't hungry. And that caused Texas to remove the last meal request. This is about to turn into a 100,000 calorie challenge.
I haven't eaten all day.
It doesn't look like it.
Oh, cat, I'm gonna get you.
What is this? The steak's a little dry.
You're saying my ribs are dry?
These are dry.
I talk about my weights and
The next death row inmate was known as the Vampire.
Peter Curtin was given the nickname the Vampire because he would drink the blood of his victims.
His last meal request was blood. But this request was denied, so he then requested a bottle of red wine instead because it closely resembled blood. Peter Curtin was executed by a guillotine in 1931. Another reason he requested wine is so he could get drunk before his execution. Now how's the wine?
I'd request this too.
The next inmate is actually the most sus to ever be put on death row. He was convicted of fighting off 15 police officers while masturbating. What do you want for your final meal?
Pizza.
What? Pizza?
A piece of that ass.
Our next inmate had one of the most heartwarming last meal requests. Philip Workman robbed a Wendy's, then shot and killed a police officer while making his escape. For his last meal, he requested that a large vegetarian pizza be given to a random homeless person. His request was denied, and because of that, we're gonna be giving this large vegetarian pizza to a homeless person. I don't want you guys to think we forgot about Sean's punishment. We're actually gonna be locking him up in here for the next 24 hours.
At least I'm here by myself, right?
Yeah, Bubba's been waiting on his Valentine's Day.
Have you guys heard the phrase, if looks could kill? Well, this next death row inmate used his good looks to lure women and kill them. Ted Bundy kidnapped and over 30 girls. He was caught once, but escaped and continued his murders until he was finally caught again. He was given 3 death penalties in just 2 trials. For his last meal, he ate... Where's the food?
He didn't request anything.
I was looking forward to eating.
Of course you were.
Oh,
God.
Cat.
The next inmate actually requested money as his last meal. $2,400 to be exact for his 24th birthday. It's actually Mark's birthday, guys, so... Mark?
Really?
Yeah.
It's real? Can you verify?
Yeah, guys, that's real.
We would probably go to jail for not posting twice a week anymore.
1 million likes and I'll start editing the videos faster.
Like it up, guys. Click here to watch us play Extreme Hide and Seek for $50,000 and click here to watch our last video.